Mystic ancient secrets can all be answered when you ask the mystic access guru. That is I, the great exalted one. I have come across 3 astral projections through the god plane and the hero metamorphosis to give you the knowledge you deserve.
Hey guys, who we got here? Lindsay, Ender, Stanley, and Moxie. Glad you made it. So we've got Brian's logic here, who doesn't understand geometry.
Well, how are you doing? Okay, right. This is going to be called, I think, 2D Globe LOL. Yeah. What utter nonsense. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. Hopefully it won't go on too long. Every time I say that, though, the videos end up being long. Okay, this is the start, right? Is the surface of a sphere two-dimensional? Right.
So he starts out by showing the definition of an explanation, right?
Here we are. Yes, the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional, 2D. Although it exists and is embedded within three-dimensional 3D space, the surface itself is a 2D manifold, meaning only 2 coordinates such as longitude and latitude are required to define any point on it.
Right, exactly. And if you'd read down here, 2D surface versus 3D object, a distinction is made between a sphere, the 2D surface, and a ball, the 3D solid volume contained within.
Right, now I'm going to show how that's a lot of rubbish in a way. That is complete and utter mathematical religious nonsense.
No, that's geometry that's been around for 5,000 years, dipshit. It's not nonsense. It's math. It's one of the oldest branches of mathematics, you stupid fuck.
It's like, it's so...
Hey, Tusk. Hey, George.
Far outside of reality, right? To say that the surface, the curved surface of a three-dimensional object is two-dimensional. That's...
Why, Brian? Because you don't fucking understand it? Because you dropped out of high school and didn't learn it? Is that why, Brian?
Just ridiculous. But I'll show in a few minutes how that is absolutely destroyed with such ease, right?
Hey, Stanley.
And I've shown it in the past.
Oh, you were here.
But
sorry.
I have a specific reason for making this video.
Yeah, a specific reason, because Nathan Oakley has indoctrinated you, has brainwashed you. You didn't learn what you needed to learn in school, and now you think the entire world is lying to you.
Key details regarding the dimensionality of a sphere. 2D surface versus 3D object. A distinction is made between a sphere, the 2D surface, the 2D surface, and a ball, the 3D solid volume contained within.
Right, yes, there's a difference. See, the surface is 2D, the object itself is 3D.
Right, within should give you all you need to know that this whole thing up here is rubbish, and this statement here is rubbish. But anyway.
So he just can't understand shit. Hey, Dan, good to see you again.
The fact is there's a within. Then you have here locally flat. Really? Small sections of a sphere approximate a flat 2D plane. No, they do not. There is absolutely no such thing as an approximate two-dimensional plane.
Yeah, there is. Yes, a plane is 2 dimensions. See, Brian, if you look at this, right? Let's draw something for you here. Here's a circle, right? This is a cross section of a 3D of a sphere. Look at that. What's this, Brian? Is this flat? Is this approximately flat? Because we know it's not flat, but it's approximately flat, right? Dude, you are dumb as fuck, Brian. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, ever.
you cannot have a two-dimensional plane, or sorry, an approximate two-dimensional plane. It either is two-dimensional, right? It either is a two-dimensional plane or it's not, right? There is no if, buts, or maybes. There's no ins or outs, right? It's not like what's that famous one? You can't be almost pregnant. You are or you're not, right? It's like you can't,
Small sections of a sphere approximate a flat 2D plane.
that's just ridiculous. Then you have degrees of freedom, only two, as you can move in two independent directions, e.g., north-south and east-west, right?
Yeah, yes. When you have a surface, right, you can't move off the surface or you're not on the surface. See, you can put your finger anywhere on the surface and I can go left, right, up, down, diagonally, but I'm not lifting my finger off the surface. The surface of this is 2 dimensions. You are dumb, Brian.
Well, that's stupid. Well, you can't. You can go, northeast, right? Which is
Yeah, which is a combination of north and south. North and east, you stupid fuck.
using those directions. But anyway, done that. But none of these exist on the globe either because they require, a flat plane as well. They
No, the globe doesn't require a flat plane for anything, moron.
require two-dimensional flat plane. The thing they're trying to say the surface of a globe has, or of a sphere has, right?
So here are some of the replies, right? He gives his little fucking spiel, right? Then we try and explain it to him. Where's mine? Where is this? Somewhere around here. I think it was near the bottom. Where is it? I know it was more than that. Here we go. No, this isn't that. Damn it. I can never find comments when I need to. Anyway, he accused several people of oh, here's Andy's. I like to not need faith when it comes to, and you believe the surface of a sphere can be a 2D plane. No, nobody says that, Brian. You're a fucking liar.
consequently, they're trying to say that globe Earth has a two-dimensional surface. It's
No, the globe Earth doesn't have a two-dimensional surface. It has topography. So no, the globe is not a sphere.
you know what I mean for coordinates, and it's nonsense. Anyway, I'm going to pull all this complete and utter malarkey apart in a minute. So
See, there's a reason why Brian's logic is terrified to debate people. There's a reason. Can you guess?
come over here a second.
Can you guess what reason that is?
I'm not going to click on these things. I'm going to read out a little bit of what they say. Why isn't the spherical surface three-dimensional? Right? A one-dimensional object has length but not area. For example, a curve on the plane or in the space, blah blah blah. So that's not really hitting where we need it to be. They're going to try and bullshit, right?
Oh, so you ask a question and you think all the answers are bullshit? Then why are you asking the question, moron? Why?
Is the surface of a sphere two-dimensional or three-dimensional? The surface is from Quora anyway. They're not a great source, but but I'll use them just for this. The surface of a sphere is two-dimensional. This is because two coordinates are sufficient to describe, right? This.
Why don't you go to there and see what the full explanation is, Brian? Why don't you do that?
It's like the language itself should tell you you're being bullshitted.
The word describe, you don't know what the word describe means? Describe, definition. Describe. Give an account in words of something or someone, including all the relevant characteristics, qualities, or events. Mark out or draw a geometric figure. So you don't even know what fucking words are, man. And you think you can debunk science? God damn, you're dumb.
By people who either intentionally are trying to bullshit you, or people who are bullshitting
mean like you? Intentionally trying to bullshit us? Yes, you are, Brian. And we catch you every single fucking time.
themselves and then trying to bullshit you, right? It's complete and utter horse manure. And then you have Wikipedia sphere. Mathematicians consider a sphere to be a two-dimensional closed surface embedded in three, right? How could it be two-dimensional embedded? It can have a two-dimensional equatorial plane through its center.
No, that has nothing to do with the surface, dipshit. See, you're reading the explanations right here, motherfucker. Why can't you understand this shit? Hey, Cygnus, how you doing?
Yes, a sphere can have that. You can slice it in half and have a two-dimensional plane through its center. That's fine. That plane is two-dimensional, right? You can even take a slice of any of these, right, what they call latitudes on a sphere, right, which can't go on a sphere. But anyway, you can take a slice of any of them, and you can take that slice and say, yeah, underneath there will be a two-dimensional plane. Grand, right? Mathematically can do that, but there's no way the surface of this is two dimensions. But anyway.
A sphere is nothing but mathematical, moron. It's nothing but mathematical. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
We'll carry on. As I said, I'm coming back to this in very short time. So, is the polar coordinate system a two-dimensional grid? Yes, the polar coordinate system is a two-dimensional coordinate system.
Yes, it's a two-dimensional coordinate system. Yes. Yes, and that's what we have on a sphere, bitch.
That defines points on a plane, right? I don't need to read on from that. Points on a plane, right? That's all you need to know. There is no plane surface on a sphere. It doesn't exist.
Right. Yes, it's an approximate. A small section of a sphere is approximately flat. You dumb fuck.
Only inside it, not on it. Here is, right, a polar grid system.
Right, that's a plane. That would be describing a plane. It has nothing to do with a sphere.
Right, polar coordinate system. There you are. Right, it's that's what it is. That's how it works. 2 dimensions, a point in 2 dimensions. So you'll have azimuth and you'll have distance from the center. This is like the origin, right? That's what you'll have. So it's an angle.
What do you mean distance from the center? What do you mean, Brian?
That will be
hey, Seafarer.
That will involve 360 degrees, and you'll have a distance from the center, right? That will be a point. Next is the XY grid.
Hey, Brian, question. Why aren't these lines described in degrees of a circle? They're straight, just like the longitude lines of flat Earth. But why are these not described in degrees? Can you explain that, Brian?
That will be a point. Next is the XY grid? Is the XY grid a two-dimensional grid? Yes, the XY grid is a two-dimensional grid, commonly known as.
Yes, because you've only said XY. Yes, if you say XY, Z, you would have a three-dimensional grid, Brian.
As the Cartesian coordinate plane. Don't need to go any further. Don't need to read out everything else. Plane, right? A 2D plane. So we've established that both the polar coordinate system is points on a plane, right? And the XY grid is on a plane, right? Here is an XY grid, right? Then we get to here.
Right. What are you asking, Brian, or are you telling us? You seem like you don't know for sure. And you're just asking us to help you.
You see, this is part of the absolute killer for the globe. They try and mess with this, right? But what?
No, we don't try and mess with that, Brian. We don't.
This here is a polar coordinate system grid, or sorry, grid system, and this is an XY right coordinate system. Um, um, both of them are two-dimensional, and they both work with each other perfectly. Now, I'm not talking about mutation.
No, they don't work with each other perfectly, Brian, because if you'll notice that where this is crossing 2 and 3, uh, uh, it's spaced a lot further. See, it's not the same, Brian. No, they aren't interchangeable. You can draw a line on both, but the coordinates you get along each line are not going to be the same, Brian. Hey, Extra J.
Mutating this to make it look like that, or mutating
No, do not do that, Extra J. Do not do that.
this to make it look like that. You can overlay this origin point onto this, and they will any point on that's shown on the polar coordinate system will have a point on the XY Cartesian coordinate system.
Right, but it won't be a straight line, Brian. It won't be a straight line. It will be a curve on the Cartesian system. Hey, Orion Cooper.
And vice versa, because they both use this axis, right? And you can lay those axes.
They both use this axis. Which axis? This? I mean the center? Okay.
Axes over each other at the origin points, and any point on this grid will be showing up as a point on this grid. You don't need to mutate
Hey, biggest doggest.
one and turn it into the other, or vice versa. None of that is necessary. They work in absolute tandem. That's how they work. That's why you can place.
No, they don't, Brian. They don't. You're under some false assumption that a polar system and a Cartesian system are the same thing, and they're not. They aren't interchangeable, Brian. That's why there's two different systems.
Any two onto a map or anything else, and they will give you the same coordinate point. Just use the grid as that's meant to be used. You have both of them on a map, and they'll both give you the same coordinate point. You can just use the two systems, whatever, if you want it. Now, I'm not saying they do that, but mostly maps will have just the XY. But you can put either one because they work in tandem. They're two-dimensional.
Yes, exactly, Cygnus. You have to transform them. You just can't transcribe the points on this graph onto this one. It won't work, dude. It won't fucking work.
Remember that. They don't mutate one to make the other work. They don't.
Yes, you have to. It's not mutation, dipshit. Jesus fucking Christ, it's just a transformation.
Do that. One works independent of the other, and they both work together. Right? So just to show.
Again, Brian, just show us anything that agrees with you, because what you've done is you've shown all the information that you've pulled up completely disagrees with you.
Polar coordinate system, right? Here it is. Here is a point here, right? You have A, B, C, and D. There, right? Now A, B, and D are on the grid, or on the axes. Sorry, C is the point, right? So C is the point. So this would be an azimuthal situation of 360 degrees, and then a distance from the origin out to this point. That's what gives you C, right? Now, if we change the grid.
No, what gives you C is a distance from on the x-axis and a distance on the y-axis. And when you draw lines over, that's where they line up. It isn't a certain distance away from this point.
Right?
I mean, it is, but that's not how you get this point, Brian.
To XY, there is your XY point. Right? So that would be XY, so it would be length and breadth. Or so they try and say sometimes horizontal and vertical, but that's when they're referring to XY, but that's not correct because it would be the Z would be the vertical. Because the Z is when you're adding a Z in or
No, it would be horizontal and vertical, Brian. This is vertical. This is horizontal.
for
God damn, you're dumb as fuck, Brian.
elevations. That would be a vertical. So this is a plane. This is length and breadth on a plane. So how you'd read this is you go positive X and first, and then positive Y, right, or whatever. So if like
Or whatever. What a dumb fuck.
so that would be positive X7 and positive Y5, right? If the point was down here, you'd have down here you'd have a negative Y, and over here you'd have a negative on this negative X, right? Doesn't matter. Point is that's how just easy coordinates. The point being made is that this box here, this point here, doesn't have to change. It never has to change its position. It never has to mutate to go from this grid to this grid.
Yeah, it does, Brian. You're just changing the type of grid. You aren't changing the coordinates of the stuff on the grid. Jesus fuck, dude. Oh my God.
No mutation
Hey, Reval.
going on between the two of those. Watch it. It never changes. This grid doesn't have to mutate into this one. And
Okay, so where is C on this grid, Brian? Where is C on this grid? Looks like it's above 7, right? So where is it on the other one?
this one doesn't have to mutate into this one.
So here's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. So that should be over. That should be up here. This point should be up here, Brian, if you don't have to mutate them. Right?
Right? That doesn't happen. They just can overlay each other, no changes to each other, and work perfectly hand in hand. Right? So, next point, right, as I promised earlier, before we go on. Right.
Oh my God. Holy shit. You spelled derp wrong.
So, this nonsense about how the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional, right, and you find your point,
Hey, Mr. Andy, how you doing? I hear this is where the cool kids hang out and call people who deny the globe stupid. Yes, it is. It is.
you find a point on the surface of the sphere with two dimensions. No, you do not.
Yes, you do, Brian.
Right?
So a high school dropout thinks that he can debunk 5,000 years of geometry when he doesn't even understand what a fucking plane is. Brilliant.
First of all, you will have, this is a tangent,
Oh yeah, that's probably Dick.
right? Mathematical tangent to one point on the surface of the sphere.
Are you going to try and shut my channel down again, Dick? Are you, Dick?
Right here. And you will have a measured drop from the tangent. So this is a measured drop.
Right. This has absolutely nothing to do with with the geometry you're talking about. The geometry of a 2D surface, Brian. It's nothing. Absolutely fuck all.
This red line here. So that would be on a globe an elevation change.
Yes, the globe inside, the ball inside the surface is a 3D object, Brian. The surface that encapsulates it is a 2D surface because you don't have to go out from the surface to put a point on the surface.
As well as whatever other elevation changes that would exist if the Earth was a globe. This would be an elevation change because this would be a measured drop from the tangent because they would be measuring, right, things. The whole thing wouldn't work, but hypothetically, I have to say hypothetically, because that's the only way it would work. But they'd have to use it, let's say a surveyor would have to use a tangent, not a horizontal. This wouldn't be a horizontal. This would be a tangent.
No, that is horizontal, dumb fuck. This line is horizontal at this point.
There'd be no horizontal, no vertical, because there is no parallels. This line here would be parallel only to another another.
That line doesn't have to be parallel to anything, Brian. It doesn't have to be parallel to anything to be horizontal.
Another tangent at the bottom of the sphere. But if there's a tangent here, then it will be 90 degrees to it. So there's no parallels, and all the zeniths will be diverging from each other. Like this zenith here from the center point.
Hey, Calder, he's trying to debunk 5,000 years of geometry without a grade school diploma.
That would, if it came out through here, and this one here, if it came out through here, they're diverging from each other, and everyone all in between. So there is no parallel horizontals, there is no parallel verticals, meaning that horizontal and vertical cannot exist on a sphere. It's just if there was a
So there aren't parallel horizontals, so horizontal can't exist? You're a stupid motherfucker, Brian.
globe, there would be no horizontal or vertical. They have to be constants, and they must be parallel to each other. So
who says they have to be parallel to each other, Brian? Who says? Who? You? Nathan Oakley? Quantum Eraser? Third or 10th man? Those dumb fucks?
but if you had to pre-assume and hypothetically make up some fantasy in your brain, you could try and say, well, a surveyor could use a tangent plane, right? But then there'd be a measured drop from the tangent, because this would be actual Earth that's dropping below that tangent over.
No, Brian. See, you're dealing with the 3D object, not the 2D surface.
Over a distance of, and a drop of close to 8 inches per mile squared. So straight away, that straight away destroys the claim that there is that the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional. To further absolutely annihilate this complete and utter bullshit gaslighting claim, we have the truth, which is there isn't a point found on the surface of a sphere with 2 dimensions. There is a third dimension.
No, this is not the surface, Brian. See how it's inside the surface? The ball is not the surface. The ball is the volume contained within the surface.
From its center internal point. That is the third dimension, as they will be taking.
I didn't make it to the end, Cygnus. I wanted to save that. Oh, I gotta stretch. Sorry.
Azimuthal, right? Mathematically, it would be an azimuthal around in 360 degrees to a point, and then it would be a right angle triangle to a point on the surface of the sphere.
A right angle triangle? No, Brian. Holy fuck, you're dumb.
Then, right, so you need that center point. So the latitude and longitude they will try to put on it, whether I'll go to next, right?
I made it to like this far right here. Yeah, I made it to this far. 23 minutes in.
That is absolutely useless without having the center point and the third dimension of the center. So then it is not, the surface of a sphere is not two-dimensional, and you cannot find your position on the surface of the sphere with 2 dimensions. You require a third.
Really? You see, so on a globe, let's find a globe. Globe Earth. Well, I got one somewhere. I don't even know where my globe is. It's not up there. Oh, it's probably over there. Anyway. But yeah, Brian, see, anywhere on here is a coordinate system. See these lines on this thing? See the lines? Well, you can't see them there. But yeah, see the lines? See, you're here. You'd be here. And if I want to go north, I go here along the surface of this sphere. And I'm only moving in 2 directions. This way, I'm only moving in 1 direction along the surface of the sphere. And I can turn and I can go this way or this way or this way. But I'm never any higher off the surface of the sphere when I've got my finger on it, Brian. Good God, you're dumb.
Dimension. There is no two-dimensional spherical surface. That is mathematical
For a long time, Mr. Handy.
gaslighting, and whether it's either self-bullshittery by the mathematicians
Almost 10 years.
or they're outright, straight out trying to bullshit and gaslight you. And don't allow that. There isn't two dimensions.
See, that's what indoctrinators say. Oh, don't believe what you've learned. That's all bullshit. What I'm telling you is the truth. When it's never the truth.
For to find a point on the surface of a sphere, there is 3 required, not 2. And there is a measured drop from the tangent. There is no two-dimensional spherical surface. Now,
God, what a stupid fuck.
Right, not really moving on, but moving on to the next part. Right, is the latitude and longitude grid a polar grid? Right, yes, the latitude and longitude grid is a 3D spherical form of a polar coordinate system applied to the globe surface, it says our person.
Yes, exactly what I just said, Brian.
Not a globe. So, is the polar coordinate system a two-dimensional grid? Yeah. Yes, the polar coordinate system is a two-dimensional coordinate system. So, if that's a
Yes, and what did it just say when you asked the question earlier? Yes, the latitude and longitude grid is a 3D spherical form of a polar coordinate system applied to the Earth's surface. Now, what does it say? What does it say? What does it say a polar coordinate system is?
Is the polar coordinate system a two-dimensional grid?
There you go. It's two-dimensional. So the polar coordinate system, the longitude-latitude system on a sphere is a two-dimensional coordinate system. You stupid motherfucker.
Yeah. Yes, the polar coordinate system is a two-dimensional coordinate system. So if that's a two-dimensional coordinate system, how can it be on this? This is
because the surface of a sphere is 2 dimensions, dipshit. Can't you follow this? Your feeble brain can't handle shit that grade school kids learn and understand?
It's not a polar coordinate system. This, what they have here, is a complete travesty. It is a hijacking of reality and a hijacking of a two-dimensional grid, right? And they're trying to place it on the surface of a sphere and then use a third dimension that they're trying to that they're trying to kind of brush over and not really make that totally obvious, right? To try and make this absolute mathematical rubbish work. Now, it does work mathematically, but this is not reality. None of this is reality. None of this.
So geography isn't reality? Geometry isn't reality? Fuck off, Brian.
Globe's nonsense here. That's not reality. Converging lines, latitude lines and meridians act as rays from a pole converging at the north and south poles. Parallel lines, latitude lines, parallels are concentric circles centered on the polar axis. What they're talking about is slices, so they're parallel only because the slices are parallel. The latitude lines are not parallel. The slices of the sphere are parallel, right?
No, latitude lines are parallel, Brian. Latitude lines are parallel.
You can't have curved parallel lines, right?
See, this is pure gaslighting, Brian. Don't you realize this? You're taking the explanation of a question you just asked and saying, "Oh, forget what that says." Can you understand this?
You can't have
Evidently
circles.
not.
You have concentric circles only. You can't have parallel circles.
So you don't think a concentric circle is parallel? You don't think there is the same distance from here to here as it is from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to here? You don't think that's the same distance, Brian? You don't think these lines are parallel? They look pretty fucking parallel.
And here we are, angular measurements. Unlike Cartesian grids, it uses angles, latitude, north, now it's north, south of the equator, longitude, east, west of the prime meridian to determine location. Right? Angles from where? From the center. That's the third dimension. Right? That is the third dimension I spoke about. Right?
That's the third dimension of a ball, but not the surface of a sphere, Brian. Inside this thing has absolutely nothing to do with the surface, Brian, geometrically.
Here we are. While it functions as a polar system, it is specifically referred to as a geographic coordinate system. They're making shit up. There is no such thing as a geographic coordinate system, right? That's
Let's see. What is a geographic coordinate system? See, it's working now. A geographic coordinate system, GCS, is a three-dimensional spherical or ellipsoidal reference framework used to define locations on Earth's surface using latitude and longitude. Measures angles from the Earth's center to points on the surface, with latitude referencing the equator and longitude referencing the prime meridian. So you're dumb, Brian. You're fucking ignorant.
on the Earth. The Earth is not a globe. This is not what it is. This is not a polar system. This is a made-up system that they're a makey-uppy system that they're trying to pawn off as a polar coordinate system.
He just so wants to be Nathan Oakley, doesn't he? He just so wants to be Nathan Oakley.
That's all they're trying to do, right? This is mathematical only. It is not reality. I just want to go on here a sec. So, latitude and longitude grid laid out flat. That's the question I asked, right? Here is what I got. I'll just show you a bigger version of it. This is what they give you, this XY grid. But that is not, right? Even though that is an XY grid, that is a mutation of the latitude and longitude grid.
It's a transformation. It's not a mutation, dipshit. And in reality, this line right here is a single point. This line, this horizontal line at the bottom, is a single point. This horizontal line at the top is a single point, Brian. And all these lines diverge to that single point, going north and south.
Now, this XY grid, not only is it two-dimensional, right, because it has to go onto a map. See my last video for that. But it not only is it two-dimensional, because they have to put it onto a map, but it mutates the positions in relation to each other of the landmasses, even on a globe Earth.
No, it doesn't, Brian. No, it doesn't. See, on a globe, all the distances are accurate. The sizes and shape of the continents is accurate. Not on a flat Earth. This isn't accurate, Brian.
It mutates it, right? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take this, which is the correct layout of the latitude and longitude grid.
No, that's not the correct layout, Brian. It's not at all. You're a fucking liar, Brian.
Never mind the land masses underneath, that's incorrect. They're incorrect, like south of the equator.
So you think Australia looks like this in reality? You think if we got in a jet and went over Australia, it would look like this? Let's see. Aerial photographs of Australia. And of course, they're going to give me fucking pictures of the goddamn city. Google is lazy. Fuck me. Same fucking thing. Look at this shit. Could I have a goddamn photograph of the entire fucking continent? Fuck. I hate Google. Yeah. But anyway, see, this is what Australia looks like, Brian. This is what Australia looks like. Not this. Not this. See, this is all stretched out because that's what happens when you take a globe and you mathematically transpose it to a flat surface. See, you have to take this single point, which is what the edge of this thing is just one single point, because this entire edge is shrunk down and brought into a single point. Antarctica is a continent, dipshit. It's not a fucking ice ring.
It's definitely incorrect. If you look at the stretchy size of Australia, and
yeah, that might work. Australia from space. There we go. See, that's what Australia looks like in real life, dipshit. Here's one. There you go. That's what Australia looks like in real life. Another slow fucking... See, it's not all spread out because it's not distorted when it's on the globe, Brian.
some of Africa and
Hey, Henzo.
South America, and you have Hawaii and Tahiti. They should be in the same time zone here, and they're not. So that's all. You see my last video because that connects all to that as well. But the ignore the land masses. It's the grid. This is a correct.
Oh, ignore the land masses that don't match reality, right?
Correct polar coordinate system.
No, see, it's okay about right here till you get to here. Till you get about to here, what is it? 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. This is the equator right here, Brian. Or maybe this is the equator. I'm not sure. But see, past the equator, all these lines do exactly what they do here, Brian. They converge to a single point.
This is the original one. This is the one that we use with our.
Yeah, he thinks this is accurate, and this matches reality. He thinks that, but don't pay attention to what the continents look like.
This system here.
See, these dumb motherfuckers aren't smart enough to understand that a projection of the globe means you take the globe, you open it up and flatten it out, and project it onto a 2D surface. He's not smart enough to understand that.
This gives us
None
time
of them
zones and all the rest of it. This is the correct system. For them to turn that into this, right, they've got to, right, make all the longitude lines parallel, right, and make all the latitude lines parallel, right? So they're not.
Yes, this is another way you can project the globe onto a flat surface, Brian.
Concentric circles.
It's called the Mercator projection, Brian.
Anymore, they're now parallel straight lines, and the longitude lines are not diverging from a center point in the north. They are now all parallels. But to do that, they have to mutate the positions of, even for a globe, they have to mutate the positions of the land masses.
Yes, because this isn't a globe. This is flat. You have to distort it, Brian.
Now, I said, as I went through earlier, here is it? You don't have to mutate to go from polar to XY or XY back to polar. There is no mutation required.
Yes, there is mutation. Where, see, along this line here, you've got 1, 2, you've got 2, 2, 3, 2, or it'd be 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. Here we've got 2, 0, 2. Well, where's 1? See, 1 isn't even on there, man. You don't have 2, 1 anywhere on this fucking line. Where's 2, 2? Well, 2, 2 would be here. Well, where's 2, 3? Way up here. So no, it doesn't fucking match, Brian. It doesn't match at all.
You do not. It's not required to mutate this to get that to become this, or vice versa. You don't require that. The points stay the same. Nothing changes. If both of them are placed on a map, regardless of whether the map is correct with the land masses, whatever, the point is that you can lay both of those coordinate systems over that map, and use both of them without mutating anything on the map. But they've got to completely mutate, right? Mutate this system to make that system. And
No, this isn't from an AE map, Brian. This is from a globe map. This is a transformation. This is a projection from the globe, not from another flat projection.
And that's because they're trying to. This is what this is a cylindrical layout of the globe. So they've.
No, that's not a cylindrical layout of the globe, Brian. This is a flat layout of the globe. This is called a Mercator projection.
First of all, they hijack this grid. They make all the south ends of this grid meet underneath the north. Right?
Right, because that's what it is. That's how reality is, Brian. That's how reality is.
Making a sphere. Then they flatten it out and roll it out. Sorry, then they make a cylinder out of it and roll it out to make this. But this.
No, you don't make a cylinder out of this, Brian. Holy fuck.
This is not a correct conversion from polar to XY. This is a mutation of both. Because not only are they not properly using not only are they not using polar, I'll just go back here. Not only are they not using, a polar grid on a sphere, because it can't be, because it's a two-dimensional plane grid, right? Not only are they not doing that, but when they're trying to come up with turning the latitude and longitude grid into a flat.
Let's see. Is the longitude-latitude system on the Earth a polar coordinate system? Yes, latitude and longitude system is a type of 3D spherical polar coordinate system used to map positions on the Earth's surface. So you're dumb, Brian. You're just fucking ignorant. You are fucking retarded.
Flat surface, or laying it out flat, right, which is the only way it is laid out. They can't even lay it out for you correctly. This is what they give you. This is what Google and whoever else gives you. They give you this complete.
No, Google doesn't give you that. No, it doesn't, Brian. Google Earth. See, that's not at all what we give you, what they give us, Brian. What we have is this. This is reality, Brian. Fucking cope. See how all the points? See, we can do map. Where can we go? Where is the yeah, it's not giving us latitude and longitude lines. That's weird. Why isn't it doing that? But just imagine latitude and longitude lines, Brian. See, it goes from here straight down to the equator and then back down to Antarctica. See, that's why the straight lines of longitude that are on the flat map are degrees of circle, because it's a fucking circle, Brian. See, North Pole, equator, South Pole, equator, North Pole. That's a circle, Brian.
Not a bullshit map. That is wrong. Not only are the time zones wrong here because Australia stretched out, but when you do this.
Why is Australia stretched out, Brian? That's supposed to be the Earth. That's supposed to be what the Earth is. It looks like. Why is it all stretched out, Brian?
Also shows that all the time zones are completely wrong. So they put this grid on so many different.
None of these represent time zones, Brian. Time zones are political. These are geographical
maps. Down to small sectional maps up to this big universal transverse Mercator map, right? And it just distorts everything. It distorts the north, it distorts all the directions, and it distorts the time zones. So the time zones are this is the correct layout of time zones. Never, as I said, it's.
No, it's not.
the land masses underneath are wrong for correct layout, but the grid is correct. It lays out as 24 time zones. That's what it is. Each one of them are a time zone. In reality, there is 3 right behind across the 32nd degree latitude in the United States. There is 3 time zones. In Australia, a place of equal size in reality to the United States across its breadth on the 32nd degree latitude south, there is only 2, because Australia actually fits within these 2. It doesn't stretch outside of it.
How many time zone in Australia? Where did that go? Australia uses 3 main time zones: Australia Eastern Standard Time, Australia Central Standard Time, and Australia Western Standard Time, Brian. 3 of them, not 2, 3. See, you've got one time zone here, you got a time zone here, and you got a time zone here, Brian. You are dumb. You are a dumb motherfucker.
So it's not going to cross 4, it's going to cross 2 in reality. Right? Totally proven the Earth is flat. Right? Even admitted by people like Will Duffy. Point being is that they...
What did Will Duffy admit? Will Duffy also said that they saw a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So why are you citing Will Duffy, Brian?
It's within these 2. It doesn't stretch outside of it. So it's not going to cross 4, it's going to cross 2 in reality. Right? Totally proven the Earth is flat. Right? Even admitted by people like Will Duffy.
No, Will Duffy hasn't admitted anything like that, asshole.
Point being is that they must mutate things, and then they're trying to say that this, right? They're trying to make you believe that this is that, and that this is the flat version of this.
No, that's not the flat version of this. This is flat also, Brian. This is a distortion of the globe, the same way that the Mercator map is a distortion of the globe. They both come from the same source, the globe.
Ridiculous. Now, if what they're claiming about the surface of a sphere, if that was true, 100 million %, right, that is a 2-dimensional surface, then
100 million %. Do you know what percent means, Brian? Do you know what percent means? Percent. Cent is short for century or 100 or 100. You can't have a Jesus fucking Christ, man.
there is no...
You can have 100%. You can't have more than 100%, Brian.
No reason why the whole of a globe can't be placed onto this without distorting the positions of the landmasses.
What? You said there is a way or there isn't a way?
There is no reason why the whole of a globe can't be placed onto this without distorting the positions of the landmasses.
Oh, so how would you do that, Brian? How would you fucking do that? How would you take a 3-dimensional object, take its 2D surface, and put it on a flat surface and have it match? How do you do that, Brian? Please explain.
And distorting it from a polar grid, right? This should be able to be placed underneath that, right? And all the land masses and everything be correct if the surface of a globe is 2-dimensional. Now,
right, it's a 2-dimensional surface wrapped around a 3-dimensional ball, dumb fuck.
We can use these grids in reality with maps and different things like that, right? Now, unfortunately, they try and mess around with the latitudes and longitudes on the maps, but you can use them. The point being is that if the globe Earth is real and the surface of a sphere is 2-dimensional, then you will have no need to change this. You will be able to place the whole globe onto this and there will be no distortions.
Oh my God, holy shit. No, that's not how it works, Brian. That's not how it works. Fuck me.
whatsoever. But here is the best they can come up with, which completely distorts everything. Right? So if what they say was true, then
All flat maps are a distortion of the globe, Brian. The only way things make sense is when you put them back around the globe from where they came.
there would be no distortions when you place it onto a grid like this. But there is
Holy fuck,
distortions
he's dumb.
because the Earth is not a globe. You can't play, as I showed in my last video, you can't place any landmass onto, from a globe onto a flat surface.
Right, because it'll be distorted, Brian. It'll be distorted.
Right? Without distorting what came from the globe to that.
Right, exactly. So what the fuck are you talking about? If it's not distorted when it's on the globe, what do you think the shape of the Earth is, dumb fuck?
But what we see on the flat surface of a map, whether it be Australia or Atlas, what we see there, right, once you have a correct map of that particular country or landmass, not a world map, you end up with that exact what has been measured. There's no
Right, what we see on a globe. Right, we see this, Brian. We see this. That's what we see. And it's on a globe. God damn, what a dumb motherfucker. What an incredibly stupid human.
missing area in between, etc., etc., etc. But when they're trying to move Australia from a globe and place it onto a flat plane map, what happens is that they have to remove spherical excess. And
No, they don't remove spherical excess, dumb fuck. You know, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, he's stupid.
and all they're doing is removing non-reality. Point being is that this is a two-dimensional grid. You can place, in reality, you can place, if the Earth was a globe, you could place all of the globe onto this two-dimensional grid without any distortions. Not an
Oh my God, you're fucking retarded. Holy shit, he's retarded. I mean, literally, mentally retarded. It's not a slam, it's not slander against actual mentally retarded people. He is mentally retarded.
as I said, I'm not talking about this complete and utter rubbish. I'm talking about a proper. If it was really, if that was two dimensions and this is two dimensions, then there should be no problem. But this is not two dimensions. This is 3 dimensions, as I showed.
Right, that thing right there is a three-dimensional ball. The surface that's on it is a two-dimensional surface, Brian.
This is 3 dimensions.
I mean, it's telling you right fucking there.
It cannot be placed onto a 2-dimensional plane. It can't be done. You cannot do that without distorting all kinds of stuff.
Exactly. You know what looks, you know what's distorted? You know what looks fucking distorted? I can't find it. I'd have to look it up. But you know what looks distorted? The flat map. The flat earth map, Brian. That's distorted. You know when it's not distorted? When you wrap it back the fuck around the fucking globe.
So, point being is that the surface of a sphere is not 2-dimensional, right? And you cannot use a 2-dimensional coordinate system for the surface of a sphere because you require a third dimension.
No, you don't, Brian. No, you don't. You just don't fucking require that.
If they try and bullshit you and gaslight you, it can't be done, right? In reality, a correct world map could be placed onto this. If this was corrected, right, the land masses underneath the grid here was corrected.
Right, yes. You know how you do, you know what you do to correct that, Brian? You do that. That's what you'd fucking do. You just not project it.
You could place this whole thing out, or you could place this straight onto the top using the XY here, right? Straight onto here, right? And everything would work perfect. There will be no need for any distortions. Everything will be right. But you can't. But if you,
Jesus fucking.
if the
Yeah, exactly, Cygnus. Well, fucking do it, Brian. Show us how it's done. Show us how it's done. Take a globe and put it on that, and show us how it's done with no distortion. Do it. Do it, bitch.
straight onto the top using the
I'll bet you $1 million you can't fucking do it, Brian. I'll make it reasonable. I'll bet you $200 you can't fucking do it, Brian. I'll bet you $200.
XY here, right? Straight onto here, right? And everything would work perfect. There would be no need for any distortions. Everything would be right. But you can't. But if the Earth was a globe and has a surface that's two-dimensional, then there should be no problem with doing that, right? Because what they're saying, if they're saying the surface of a globe is two-dimensional, they're saying it's flat. That's the only way to.
No, they aren't saying it's flat, Brian. You're a dumb fuck. You don't understand simple shit.
Describe it. But that's what they're saying. It has length and breadth only, right? But that's not the truth. So can they do that? Can they place the globe Earth onto a two-dimensional plane without distorting it? No, absolutely not. Because
Right, that's because it's a globe. It's because it's a globe, dumb fuck.
because the globe Earth doesn't exist. If it existed and was real, that wouldn't be a problem. It would only be on that, because that's what two dimensions is.
Good God. Holy fucking shit, you're dumb.
This is not two dimensions. This is not two dimensions. This is three dimensions.
Exactly. That's a ball. It's showing a ball, Brian. That's a ball.
That's why level, right, what they call level on a globe, doesn't exist. You can't have a curved level.
You can't have a curved level. Shut the fuck up, man. God damn. Go back to eating your fucking crayons and licking your windows. You're a dumb motherfucker, Brian.
Because that requires three dimensions. Level is two-dimensional. You cannot have a three-dimensional level. There's another video I'll link down below. This is ridiculous. They're just gaslighting people and saying things like,
No, Brian, you've been gaslighting people. You've been gaslighting us for 27 minutes and two seconds. You're the one that's gaslighting. Flat Earth is the one that's gaslighting people.
oh, well, we call this other system the geographic coordinate system. No, it's the bullshit coordinate system that you're trying to say that we use to travel the Earth as a globe, but the Earth is not a globe. That's what it is. There is no globe, right? Because if there was, as I said,
That's funny, because here it is. There it is. This is a CGI representation of the globe, and everything matches perfect, Brian. Everything matches perfect. The distance from here to here is going to be exactly the same distance as it is in reality, Brian. The distance from here to here is going to be the same distance as it is in reality. You dumb motherfucker.
and it had a two-dimensional surface, then you could place it onto this. The whole globe could go onto that and there'd be no distortions. No distortions, right? And as I said, not talking about this, because this has distortions. Loads of distortions. So, anyway, that's the end of that. I think I made my point.
So how are you going to do it, Brian? How are you going to do it? If every projection of the Earth has distortions, how are you going to fucking do it?
About this.
My God.
Point was
What a dumb motherfucker.
about this stupid globe. Thanks for watching.
What an absolute dumb motherfucker this guy is. Just completely fucking mentally retarded. He's just fucking dumb. He thinks he's smart, but he's not. And it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. It's sort of a quick one today. And